It's loading. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa Bracamonte, or Alyssa Gastello now, and I'm here to talk about all of our summer youth events. I'm going to give it a couple minutes to see if I can let some people come on, and we'll be talking about all the fun things we'll do this summer. I think everything's loaded, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Like I said, my name is Alyssa, and I am the Children and Youth Services Coordinator in Tucson, Arizona. I'm here to talk about all of the awesome things that we have going on this summer for our youth. And so I hope that you guys are able to reach out, or us with you, and make sure that your children are involved in all of the awesome activities that we'll be having this summer. So our first set of awesome youth events that we'll be having is we get to partner with the National Federation of the Blind every year to host their Bell Academy. And for those of you who don't know what the Bell Academy is, it's the Braille Enrichment for Literacy and Learning Academy. And so we have all of our students throughout the nation who are able to participate in this curriculum from the National Federation of the Blind, and Savi is able to host it. This year, it's going to be virtual, and so we're looking forward to doing some things a little differently than we're used to, and just to make sure that we are keeping all of our students and our staff safe. So that's one of our biggest reasons that this year is going to feel a little different, but we're definitely going to still have a lot of fun and make sure that our kids are learning and making friends and all of the things that we get to look forward to in the summer. So I'm going to read a couple of dates. So we have, our application is up for the National Federation of the Blind Bell Academy. And there are 2 weeks left where you're able to enroll your child. Space is pretty limited, so we're making sure that we're gonna, reach out and continue to fill out applications together over the phone. It's a little, lengthy, but making sure that you guys have that support to make sure that we're able to connect with maybe a mentor or myself to give you a call and fill out all of the paperwork so that your student and your child is able to participate fully. And there's a lot of awesome things that go along with that application. And so, once they are signed up and they're ready to go, the National Federation of the Blind is going to be giving a lot of these kits together for all of the activities that we're going to be hosting over the summer. So whether that's independent living skills, whether that's technology, Braille, they'll be having a package ready to go as soon as you're signed up, delivered to your house. And so you guys will have all of the different things that you need for your child to participate fully in all of the activities. The 2 weeks that are still open are June 22nd through July 3rd and July 27th through August 7th. And like I said, we'll be having our mentors who can also work with you guys, our parents that are going to be attending and working with your kids through activities virtually. If you need that additional support, we'll have mentors on hand to make sure that you have that as well. We just need, like I said, for you to sign up. Like I said, space is limited. One of the great things is we hear virtual and we think computers, or we think needing to use Zoom or having Wi-Fi accessibility. And the great thing is, if you have it, that's awesome, and we'll be able to utilize that for sure. But we're also able to do all of our activities over the phone. And so if that's something that might be like, oh no, it's virtual, I need my computer, you don't need to worry. We're gonna make sure that we can work with you over the phone as well, and make sure that that summer is still full for your child. That is our first set of awesome things that we'll be having through the summer. Hey Rudy, just checking some of the comments and making sure I have any questions. So if you guys have questions, I know I'm going through this a little fast, so I tend to talk a lot, but if you have questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I will be replying to them as I go. That is our first set of events that we'll be doing, hosting the NFB Bell Academy. Our next set of awesome stuff that we'll be having is the Savvy Ready, Set, Go Summer Camp. And this is our first year doing it virtually. Again, like to keep our students and staff safe, but still making sure that we can have fun. It's a historic year, you guys. I think that in the future, when you're talking to your loved ones or your friends, and we're past this hopefully, and we're able to look back on it and know that we still grew during this time. I think it'll be cool to reflect on what were you doing in the summer during that pandemic, and what friends did you make. So this is a great opportunity to make sure that you're still involved and you're still having a really productive summer. And so we'll be doing our 6 weeks, traditional 6-week program. It will be virtual, and so we'll have our different themes that we're going to pick for the 6 weeks. And when I say themes, I mean just different areas that we're going to talk about to make sure that we're still hitting on all of these areas. You're still able to gain that knowledge from summer camp, but it's broken down a little bit better to where we can focus on it each week. So our first week is going to be career exploration. And so if you have an idea of what you want to do for the rest of your life, or you're completely clueless and you have no idea what is interesting, that's okay. And we're going to make sure that we work together to just explore all of the different jobs that are available, different careers that maybe have been interesting, and be able to dive into it a little bit more. So that's going to be our first week of our theme, and just focusing on all the possibilities of different careers for your life. So that'll be our first full week. We'll have our different classes going on at the same time, and I'll get into that in just a bit, but that will be our focus for the first week. Our second week is going to be college prep, and so even though school just ended, we're going to make sure that we are still talking about school and how it plays an important part of whatever you're going to be doing in the future, and if it's something that's for you and if it's not. And so making sure that we're understanding what college looks like, what are those expectations. It's such a it's one of those awesome experiences where you're able to really see what works for you, and there's so many different types of degrees and fields that you can get into. So getting into college preparation and really just exploring it is going to be an awesome week as well. So that'll be our second week. And then our third week is going to be living on my own. And so we hear that and we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get older and I'm going to move out. What does that look like? You're going to be moving out of your parents' house and moving out from where you have maybe that support of cooking or getting your laundry done. And living on your own is a completely different experience. And so making sure that you guys are and your children are, prepared for what that looks like in the future. What does that look like picking out your apartment, and making sure that you have maybe a bus line that's there that you're able to access easily, because, Ubers are great, but you're not going to be taking an Uber every single place, and making sure that you have that in your budget for what you want to be using Uber and Lyft for, and what you're going to be taking the bus to go meet your friends with, and going to school and going to work if you're going to be getting a job. All of those different things, how all of that connects in with your future plans, and making sure that you're able to maintain all of that stuff. And of course, one of the best things with living on your own is, how do you unclog a toilet for the first time? Mom and dad aren't there, you're trying to figure it out. It's 2:00 in the morning. What does that look like? And so I think talking about those experiences and making sure that you guys are prepared as much as possible to experience living on your own for the first time is definitely going to be an awesome week to get into. Our fourth week is going to be job readiness, and that is where we're going to get to really look at skills. Jobs, you are going to get to look at, how do you get a job, but also how do you keep a job? What kind of skills do you need to make sure that you're still someone who is employable and someone's able to count on you, whether it's your boss or a coworker. Making sure that presentation is everything, and what kind of skills can you gain from one job, and maybe look at what can you apply, what are things that you've done already in high school, in your high school careers, that you can apply to a job. And there's a lot of awesome things we don't really think about, that we have that skill already, and how do we polish it up. And so that whole week will be making sure that you guys are ready and your kids are ready to go out into the world and be employable and land a job and be able to be, a working member of society, and making sure that you guys are liking what you do. So that's going to be our job readiness. Our fifth week is going to be job opportunities. So in that moment, in that week, you guys will get to take everything you've learned from career exploration to college prep to job readiness. Job readiness is the biggest one, but how are you going to apply that in your job opportunities? And so the cool thing this summer, and that we've been doing for a bit, is our students they let us know what fields they're interested in. Maybe it's nursing and you've never really done anything nursing before. So in the summer, you'll get a chance to do some work with nursing, if that's something that you pick. I just picked nursing because that's one of the things I thought of. And maybe you pick that and then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I have to work, that closely with blood, or, making sure that that's not something that I typically want. This is why we have those opportunities to not only gain experience, but also kind of field through what are things that are interesting that maybe you've never really had experience in doing, and that they continue to stay something for you, or something that you're like, no, I kind of want to change my mind. This is that time frame to really get into just that opportunity of working hands-on. And so all of our students have different goals. Everyone has different things that they've planned on working with, from computers to being maybe some type of law enforcement, or performing arts. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of things that all of our students have picked from, and we're going to work closely to make sure that you've got some type of mentorship in that field to really ask your questions and make sure that that is something that you're still wanting to pursue, or wanting to change. And the best part of that is that you'll get paid. So that's awesome. You'll get to walk away with your paycheck knowing that, you not only have that experience under your belt, but you can go shopping and do whatever else you want to do with your money that you're earning over the course of your job. Our last week is going to be attending the National Federation of the Blind Convention. That will also be very different this year because it will be virtual. And in years past, we've had anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 individuals who attend, and this year will be our most historic year with our most attended people throughout the entire nation. And so I think that's exciting in itself. Hopefully we'll see where we're at as far as the coronavirus goes, and making sure again that we're still keeping safe, and we're still able to do everything that we want to do in a safe way. If we're at a point where we can move forward and do some social distancing or do some in-person stuff, we'd like to do maybe a National Federation of the Blind viewing party together. If not, we'll still be able to figure out a way to break down everything that happens at convention, because for those of you who have been before, it is life-changing and it's so full of so many different things. And so making sure that we're able to really break it down and take in everything that's happened that week together is going to be really important. We'll be able to also be participating in the youth track this year. And so for those of you young adults and even kids, that's a place, and throughout the entire convention, you're able to meet other students from around the nation. There's students who attend anywhere from elementary school all the way through college. And so participating in all of those different breakout sessions and listening to different lectures and all of that great stuff together is really cool when you get to make friends all around the nation. So even though we have this pandemic going on, I think that this will be a time for us to really kind of come together and make sure that we're still making those friendships that are so important too. Throughout our whole summer camps, those are the themes of the weeks that we'll be having. We're also going to continue with our regular classes, and so we'll have our access technology where you guys and your students will be learning how do I continue to submit my information or my assignments online. What does that look like moving into high school, and even at the end of high school, what does that look like going into college? And so all of those skills are really important. And so we'll dive into that in access technology. We're going to also have our Braille class, and so making sure that you're able to compete with your sighted peers in the world and be as efficient as possible, and keep up with those reading lists. College gets a little more heavy with reading, and so making sure that your literacy is through the roof, and we continue to work on that throughout the summer. So that's one of my favorite classes. We'll also be doing independent living skills, and so like I touched on earlier, living on your own. This will be a little bit more in depth of what does that look like to have that skill of cooking or cleaning or maintaining your house. Making sure that you're able to present well when you go to work. All of those things are so important. And so independent living skills will be another class that we'll be focusing on throughout the summer and every week. We'll also be doing some orientation and mobility. And so again, figuring out what that looks like, we'll be able to work together to make sure that, cane skills are important and your confidence is up there and you're able to do everything else that your peers are doing and independently as possible. So that's one of the areas that we'll be able to do together over the summer as well and continue to brush up that skill. We'll also be doing philosophy, and so it's awesome to sit with, other role models and getting to learn from other students. What are different areas and different topics that we can talk about that, maybe they're really easy to talk about and sometimes they're a little more difficult. And so how do we rely on each other and work together to make sure that we've got a great mentality and looking forward to, different things in our lives, whether that's blindness related, whether that's high school related. I mean, there's so many different topics that we cover over the summer, and really it just depends on what our students want to talk about. So that's a great area that we're able to do as well. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Those are it for our classes. We're also going to be having some clubs. So a lot of the stuff that I've talked about is RSG related or Ready, Set, Go related. But our clubs, we're excited to do. We'll be doing some workout clubs and some performing arts clubs. And for those of you families who have been involved with us throughout the year so far, those are classes that we're able to do or activities that we're able to have virtually. And so that will be something we'll keep open for all of our students and all of our youth. So just please keep connected with us, stay connected. Check out our Facebook regularly because we'll be able to announce if there's any other clubs that are interesting or any other events that we'll be having, but those clubs will be with our Ready, Set, Go camp students and as well as, having that time allotted for all of our students throughout the state. We also will be doing, that's all of our Ready, Set, Go. Again, we know that it's virtual, and so we want to make all of our students' time worthwhile too. So we'll be having to implement lots of cool ways of making sure, I'm sure a lot of our students are like, oh my gosh, more virtual. And we're pretty creative, we're pretty crafty with making sure that, it's worth your while. And so we're looking at a lot of prizes that we can hand out and make sure that you guys are really working hard to whatever it is that maybe it's a project for job readiness or one for college prep or whatever it is throughout the entire 6 weeks that we're doing a lot of cool prizes too. So we're gonna make it worth your while, I promise. And just in general for our youth, we're gonna, like I said, with the clubs and with the clubs, the workout and the performing arts, we're gonna look at even maybe keeping some of our favorites that we've had so far virtually. And that's been, our movie days have been pretty well attended, as well as our talent show. And so we'll brainstorm a little bit. So like I said, just stay connected with us as much as possible. We're going to be getting loads of information out. I know it's a lot, guys. I'm going to take a look to see if I have any questions. So one question is it possible to share who's teaching in the O&M department? We have a lot of instructors in Tucson and in Phoenix. And so I'm sure we'll be having our different instructors throughout both places. I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of our staff, but we do have Tariq, and we have Melanie, and we have Colin. We have a lot of instructors, so I'm not sure if there was someone in particular that you were asking for. So this is the best place for my daughter. Your work is wonderful. Thank you, Giovanna. It's great to see some awesome feedback as well. And so if there's anything that you guys can think of that would be something that you'd like to learn or have your kid participate in, let us know, because we're always looking for ideas and ways to make sure that we're keeping it fun. I have Amy Porterfield commenting, tell us a joke or sing us the Moose song. I don't know if we're gonna sing the Moose song, guys. I already feel a little embarrassed and blushed with just talking about it. A joke, let's see. I'm just gonna tell my favorite one because I'm on the spot right now. Thank you, Amy. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Okay, that's enough for me. Like I said, guys, just stay connected with us. Make sure, that you're reaching out to myself and and I'll leave my contact information in the email as well. Tariq is telling me to sing it. Tariq, I'll sing it later. I'm getting but we'll go ahead and make sure that we keep that contact information for you guys as well. And like I said, we'll be reaching out for all of our different events that we'll be having throughout the summer. So please feel free to reach out to us as well. And I hope to get to work with your students this summer, as all of our staff have. Amy's still pressuring me. I'll sing a part of it. Okay, guys, I'll sing a little part. Once there was a moose who liked to drink a lot of juice. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm singing. All right. Well, Jen, that's great. I'm glad that you were asking cool questions too with our O&M. So we'll keep you guys posted with what that looks like over the summer. And if you have any questions, don't feel afraid or whatever to reach out. So thank you guys so much. And we will talk to you this summer. Bye-bye.